Guys, Max here, and today I am going to be reviewing the new strike and raw Giganotosaurus and the massive biters tarbosaurus and sarchosucus. So, you're probably wondering, how on earth did I get these two massive biters from a retired line from 2020? The answer is simple. The Jurassic Store. So it's an online shop and I am not sponsored. But that would be cool. So I actually went there in person because I live in Australia. It's based in Australia. And it is really awesome, and that's how I found these two, which you can't find anywhere else in the world, I believe. Well, you can find them, just for like triple the price and out of box. So I would definitely recommend checking them out, and I am not sponsored by them. So yeah, I'm going to start off with the tarbosaurus. So it's the one. So it's got the red throatish area, the grey base for the body, and the black tiger kind of stripes, as well as some cool little spikes down the tail and down to the tail from the face. Speaking of which, it has the red on the bottom of the mouth and going down a little bit on the throat towards the base of the neck. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Probably one of the cooler bits about it, as well as the red eyes, which I believe are the same painted colour. So for the action feature, you have the tail and the button. The button's a bit hard. So, and of course, it's got no painted toes. It also doesn't have painted nails, which is a bit sad. They've got plenty of black paint on the rest of the figure. I mean, why don't they just put on a little bit more? Because because they made the feet grey. So yeah, questionable decision, but it does run down to the towards the tip of the tail. You don't see that a lot on current figures, but yeah, pretty cool. So in terms of articulation, the head and the mouth are tied to the tail. It's got the true like T-Rex style arms, very small, and but on a ball joint. The legs are linked together in the movement, similar to the Control and Conquer Carnotaurus. I do have that figure, but it's got a whole bunch of nice details on it, like the face has a lot of just small scale details. I don't even know if the camera's picking it up, but then it seems to get slightly less and less detailed as you go down the figure, and again just folds of skin without even the painted tail bit. But yeah, it's also got red along the eye. Definitely a different figure to what we have in terms of the T-Rex and stuff like that. A bit smaller. I believe the T-Rex and Tarbosaurus were the same size or similar sizes in real life, but compared to the Mattel figure, it's tiny. Well, not tiny, but still a really cool figure. Not that it's kind of hard to come by it though, like online, because you can't get it in stores anymore, except some like collector's stores and stuff. But yeah, definitely a cool figure, decently sized and really good detail. Now on to the sarchosucus. This is my favourite of the two. The button's way easier to press. The neck works way better. It makes more sense, honestly, on this figure than a tarbosaurus, because you would think that they would do like a roaring feature for the tarbosaurus. But no, it's still, the tarbosaurus is still cool. So it's got no sound on it, which means that you can just do this, and the only sound is going to be just you pressing the button and the jaws coming together, the jaws chomping, which if you do really quickly, it can create a relatively loud noise. But yeah, that's only if you're spam pressing the button, which, yeah. But it's got really nice detail on the face. Like the face, it kind of reminds me of a gharial. Like, you know, the current crocodile. Those crocodiles with the really long snouts. The long, slender snouts. It reminds me of those. But it's also got that nice yellow eye, brown along the body, all the way down to the tip of the tail. The tarbosaurus did not have that, and a greenish brown on the lower body. Of course, it's very solidly built. Like, it seems like it'd be easily able to overpower something like the tarbosaurus or T-Rex. Like, if it got a good bite, then it'd probably be able to overpower the T-Rex if the T-Rex came too close to the water. But also, it's got a nice, like, the ridges on the back, which is what allows current modern day crocodiles to move through the water without creating bubbles, which they use to sneak up on prey. Sarchosucus probably, it would have worked similar. And of course it's got the big paddle-like tail, which you can honestly expect. It's a crocodilian, which also rotates. Now, one thing I do want to point out, the tail is rather loose, and that happens on all figures of the sarchosucus, like even the newer one they released. It's just so that the tail can be on the ground when you're not just holding it up, which is cool. And that's also where the button is. Like all primal attack figures, except some, like the small ones. But really cool figure, honestly. Probably my favourite out of the two massive biter ones. Also, both sides of the jaw are painted, like the teeth and the tongue. The snout's really nice though, like they've got, the nostrils are at the very end of the snout, and with like a blob and a whole bunch of teeth there. They're a lot less widespread than they are on the rest of the figure. Probably because if it couldn't get a good bite in, it would bite the end, then nothing would really escape from there. And then it could work its way down the jaw, which I think is cool. But yeah, definitely a really cool, nicely painted figure. You won't really find many figures like this well painted anymore, except Hammond Collection, because those are just awesome. You should see my previous videos on the Hammond Collection figures. They're all really awesome. But anyway, here is the scan code. I hope the camera picks it up. Also for Tarbosaurus, if you want to get those. You can't use them in the interactive games anymore, or you can't use the old ones. I really wish they updated it so that you could, and they weren't in a completely different section to the new ones. But speaking of the new ones, here's a figure you're probably here to see, and that is the Strike and Roll Giganotosaurus. Now, lots of people don't think this figure is very good or lacks cool poses. I think it's a load of garbage. This figure is amazing. This isn't like Hammond Collection or anything where it's hyper articulated. It's like designed for kids and collectors who do actually play with their figures sometimes. But it's really big. It's just massive, honestly. It's my biggest figure, except the Mosasaurus, which I should probably get to also review, but I will do that soon. And I've had it for like a month or two, maybe even 3, and I never got around to reviewing it because it's probably a bit hard since it's like 1 meter long and half my height. So yeah. Also, don't expect a Dreadnought anytime soon. I won't have anywhere to put it because I'm already running out of space with the figures I have currently. So yeah, I don't think I'm getting a 1.5 meter long, massive, super crazy figure. So yeah, just a quick disclaimer. You probably weren't expecting to see that being reviewed, but I think it's really nice. I don't really get why people, which I kind of do, collectors like their dinos posable. It's still got articulation. You can still move the main body around, just not as well as you would be able to if they had. I've chosen something kind of like the Giganotosaurus or the T-Rex for this year, but I don't really mind. It's still really good, though. One minor complaint I have is it starts off really decently sized, gets relatively big in the middle, then it just starts shrinking and shrinking because the head's a tad bit small. They could have used a bit of the plastic from the feet, which are almost oversized. Well, they probably are oversized, to put into a bit of the head. They might have made, or just add like an extra $1 for just a bit bigger of a head, and that would have made the figure just about perfect. Just about. So in terms of articulation, you can actually pose the middle section of it, and you can get some rather neutral poses, kind of like this. It's just slightly off to the side before it begins to lose balance and do that. It's got arms that move, legs move independently, but they're a bit hard to move, if I'm being honest. Ankles move. I don't get why they chose to do that. The figures don't really need it. They could have spent that on a bigger head as well. It's also got a posable tail, which is cool. Not many figures have that. It's really cool. Like, similar to, I know I keep saying this, but similar to the Hammond collection with the wire tail. So, I know you probably want to see the action feature now, not just hear me rambling about the actual sculpt. So, why is that foot off place? So, what causes this really big joint bit is the action feature which swings the head around really wildly, and then it can roll. Yeah, I think it's cool. And also, I don't even know if you could have heard me over the Giga literally screaming, but you can also control how quickly it does it, because it's kind of like a pump button, so you can do it really fast, really slow, or you can do the mouth at the same time. Really cool how they made that work. So, yeah, I think it's really cool. Also, one thing you probably noticed earlier, tail paint, back paint, well, behind the DNA tag paint, leg paint, painted toenails. What just happened? My iPad came out of its case thing. It's got a decent amount of paint on its face, and also it's got the plastic inserts for its teeth, which means you can do whatever you want with it, and the teeth will not get damaged unless you deliberately get a saw or something and chop them off, or you pull them out, and that would be really hard to do and would require a lot of effort just to damage the figure. Now, if that's for the teeth only, there would be plenty of ways to damage the rest of it, and you can probably, but why would you want to, honestly? I mean, just why? Because it's so cool, honestly. It's got none of that kind of webbing between the things, and none on the toes. They often use that just to get the figure to balance. It is not there on the Giga. If they had have made it a little bit, that means they could have made the feet slightly smaller though, so yeah, kinda depends what you think on that. So I'm just gonna go grab a figure to get the Giga to attack. Okay, if you saw my last video, I think you know who it is. I wonder what will happen here. I wonder who I chose. So, these two actually had an encounter in the movie, but I'm gonna, since this Claire figure annoyed me, the Giga gets to have a true toy. So, yeah. Okay, that is. Okay, that's a lot of fun. Now let's see like this. Okay, that's clear out quicker than I expected. And as you can see, there's no paint damage to Giga. And probably no paint damage to Claire either. Yeah. I think it's really cool. I mean, why would you hate on a figure that can do this to the humans you dislike? Well, not because you don't like them as a character, or the people who acted them. Just because, yes, I think he killed Claire. I think Claire's dead. The Giga got revenge. I mean, hey, it's really cool. I can say the same about the other figures. Oh, the sarchosucus now wants Claire. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Yeah. Now, the tarbosaurus. Yeah. I think it's pretty cool. I think all these figures are pretty cool. Well, they're really cool. So that's gonna wrap up the review here, and I will please like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will see you in the next one.